amid the swirling uncertainty of a shaky ceasefire in the Persian Gulf.
This is a defensive operation, and what that means is very simple. There's no shooting unless we're shot at first.
The world seemingly no closer to resolution over the Strait of Hormuz. America's Secretary of War insisting it's for countries like Australia to help restore the vital energy trade route.
We hope South Korea would step up, just like we hope Japan would step up, just like we hope Australia would step up, just like we hope Europe steps up. But we're not waiting for them to do so. We're looking to set the conditions to hand to them.
We live in very volatile times, and there is uncertainty about events in the Middle East, and of course, therefore, uncertainty about the implications for the impact here in Australia.
As we all guess at where Donald Trump will take this crisis, today's domestic focus was all about improving the resilience of Australian fuel stocks.
What Australians can be certain of is that we are throwing everything at this.
The government will spend $10 billion on a national fuel security and resilience package. Most of the money will be used to help underwrite supply of fuel and fertilisers, with $3.2 billion for government-owned storage, with capacity for 1 billion litres of fuel.
Our fuel security reserve will focus on regional stockouts and supply constraints for essential users in the event of another supply crisis.
The government is also increasing the minimum amounts of fuel the private sector must hold, lifting reserves from about 30 days to 50.
We know that the international environment is getting more unstable, not less. And so we have to look at what we have done in this crisis and see what we can do to build Australia to be better prepared.
Energy and climate policy expert Tony Wood argues that extending fuel stocks makes sense.
The idea of a government billion-litre fuel reserve, which the government itself would control, is about 6 days' worth of total fuel consumption, depending on how much is made up of petrol, diesel and aviation fuels.
Farmers and business groups have backed the plan, which includes $10 million to look at the feasibility of opening more refineries. Tony Wood thinks that's a bad idea.
We shouldn't be subsidising the cost of fuel too much, because that means all you're doing is encourage people to use more of it, which is the wrong objective.
New refineries are also only as good as the crude they can secure.
And if all we did was continue to import the crude oil, then we haven't broken the long-distance supply chains anyway. If someone wants to go and look for oil or build a refinery themselves, go for your life. I just don't think it's going to make financial, economic or environmental sense.
Today's announcement coincided with news the government has halted the controversial inland rail link between Melbourne and Brisbane after another massive cost blowout, from $10 billion to $45 billion. A brainchild of former Nationals Deputy Prime Minister and One Nation's star recruit Barnaby Joyce, the rail project will now end in Parkes, about halfway short of its original Brisbane destination.
It was Anthony Albanese who said that the inland rail was a nationally significant project that was critical to improving productivity of freight movements.
If there's a link between today's big dollar fuel security package and the inland rail, it's the irony of a government scrapping a project designed to remove diesel-consuming freight from highways. The opposition gently reminding the government of the rail project's intended benefits.
Removing 750,000 tonnes of CO2 every year from 2050 and getting over 200,000 big trucks off that freight route.
All the numbers that we've done at Grattan would suggest that some of this inland rail for a country the size of Australia, a population we've got, is a very expensive way to do it.
In the meantime, next week's budget will largely retain existing subsidies for electric vehicles, which are surging in popularity.
515 Australians a day bought an EV in April. That compares to 29 a day when we came to office. They will avoid 1 billion litres worth of fuel use over their lifetime.
The question of how long the global energy shock will last hangs over almost every element of the budget, but the government is increasingly confident it has done what's needed to keep the economy rolling.
In April, we received 92 shiploads of fuel, which is the highest number this year. It compares with less than 80 in other months. And that means we have more fuel in Australia today than we did when the bombing of Iran began. And that's no small thing.
For the Prime Minister, an opportunity to defy opposition and media critics.
If you look at some of the commentary that was there a couple of months ago in March about fuel and go back and read that commentary now, you'd say we've done much better than was anticipated.